Welcome everybody in. It is RMR Ron Morris Racing is back. It's Tuesday Night Thunder, season number 6, race number 1, live on the PGR eSports network from Talladega Superspeedway. I am your host here tonight, Michael Triscaro, and I will be joined by the boss man himself, Ron Morris Jr. But right now, real quick, we do have Austin Green, who has called this series for quite some time. He is the lead broadcaster here on the PGR eSports network, called Grindstone earlier tonight. Austin, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going, Michael?
Not too bad. Well, taking the reins from one of the best in the business here tonight in the series, man, and it's a pleasure to be able to call this series here tonight. But some new rules here in RMR. We're going to get to those with the boss here shortly. Some open qualifying going on right now. But Austin, you've called this series many times before. This is probably the best racing you'll see on the super speedway, money racing scene. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's definitely, you think of the biggest names. You usually look to either PGR or RMR, and of course, here tonight, it's the debut of the invite-only version of Tuesday Night Thunder. I know you guys are going to get more into that, but the reason I bring that up is, I'm just sitting here looking at qualifying. This is a stacked field, and we saw from even previous seasons when you just had anybody could join at any point. We still had some of the cleanest racing of any of the money racing series that we get to see. So obviously these guys, they know they're racing for a lot of money, but when you know it's a season and that you've got to be consistent, it just seems like the product is always a little bit better in terms of cleanness and great racing. And we had our fair share of photo finishes last season. Looking for what these guys can do this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. It is open qualifying, not by design there, but Ron rolled with it, and it's a little bit more exciting here to watch that qualifying instead of single car laps. Right now, Malik Ray on the provisional pole, Devin Ray outside of him. So nice to see Malik Ray back here on the money racing scene, back on some of these promotions here. Devin Ray as well, doesn't race as often, but good to see him out here tonight. This is a star-studded field, like Austin said, and we're going to be getting down to the grid here in just a minute. Ron just going over some rules with the drivers here tonight. A lot of new rules here this season, here in season number 6, and we will get to a lot of those rules here shortly. But on the track, you see Vicente Guerrero coming to a stop here, and we will be going to the grid here, and we'll get you your poll results and all of your qualifying order here as these drivers will be lining up on pit lane. A busy week here on the money racing side. Always Tuesday nights, RMR now back. So, man, you won't miss a beat. Tomorrow night we'll be right back at it here on the PGR eSports network for RNR Wednesday night. That league here in the middle of the league, about 4 or 5 more races to go before the championship race there. So, and then you'll have Thursday night, you'll have PGR March Madness begins. Bracket style 32 driver bracket. Should have a full 45 truck field for that one. And then Friday night back here as well on the network for SSK Jimmy Crow back in action for the second week in a row. And we saw last Friday night one of the best races we have seen in some time there in Super Speedway Kings. We're waiting Ron Morris Jr., but they are getting on the grid and ready to rock and roll here from Talladega. Back here live on the PGR eSports network. Qualifying is over. Malik Ray will be your pole sitter on the front row. Outside of him, Devin Ray. That'll be your front 2 spots here tonight. Kyler Wynn will start 3rd. Ethan Eckert of Nightmare Esports will start 4th. Logan York 5th here tonight. Wyatt Gray, a newcomer here in the money scene the last couple months, he will start 6th. Josh McCullough Motorsports will start 7th. Sean Corbett will start in the 8th position. For NBG Motorsports, it's Matthew Baker starting 9th here tonight. And Garrett Maines will round out your top 10 starting positions.
Back in the 11th spot. It's going to be Daniel Falkingham, Vicente Guerrero in the 12th spot. You got Nathan Harper starting 13th. Nick Seipel, I think he'll be in the 75 machine here tonight, back in 14th. In the 15th spot, you've got Mike Davenport. That's one of the PGR eSports drivers. Matt Lee, he'll be starting 16th. Ken McCullough Jr. in 17th. John Ward back in 18th with Jeff Merck 19th. Jared Haynes in 19th. And it looks like, Jared Haynes rounding out your top 20. Merck's in 19th.
Yeah, Heath Job will start 21st here tonight. Brock Westmoreland, a Team PGR, in 22nd. Stephen Miles will start in the 23rd position. Landon Velicky, he's not going to turn in a time tonight. Neither are all the rest of the guys here on the list. He will start 24th. Dylan Jones, 25th here tonight. D3, Daniel Eberhard will start in the 26th position. I am in the booth. I am not a driver, so we're going to skip and go to Chris McCullough. He'll start 27th here tonight. Starting 28th will be Ambrose Kniebel. Starting 29th, Chase Mistretta. And Mark Von Dell will be your 30th and final driver in tonight's field. And we will bring that race info to you. We are going 60 laps here tonight in the Craftsman Trucks. There will be a stage break, as always, here in RMR at lap number 20. 40% fuel here, so there will be some green flag stops, 2 extra sets of tires on pit lane. No fast repair tonight, so no fast repair. That is a big thing over here in RMR. Fixed setups and 3 green-white checkers if we need them. Ambient temp outside, 81 degrees, 11-mile-an-hour wind as we get set for 60 laps here at Talladega. It's a hot track temp, 126, so with only 2 tire sets on pit lane. You never know. If you scuff them a little bit, saving it on a wreck, you might need those tires. So we'll see how this all works out here tonight. We'll bring up that ticker as we get ready to go green for season number 6 here. Devin Ray and Malik Ray on the front row.
Just to cut in here real quick, Mike, before these guys go green, keep an eye. He mentioned those pit stops. That's usually what separates the men from the boys. You hear drivers talk about it all the time. If these guys can make it to that first green flag stop, that's where you're going to see a lot of strategy come into play.
Yes, you are. Well, the pace car has dipped down onto pit lane. Malik Ray in the 55, the 2 of Devin Ray, inching closer to the Geico restart zone. The green flag in the air for season 6, race number 1 at RMR. Number 1 in the books here in season number 6. You see the 82 there. Kyler Wynn taking the lead on the bottom lane here. Malik Ray now up the racetrack 2x2 all the way through. We will have a stage break at lap 20 tonight. So all these drivers going to race really hard for that stage victory, and those elusive playoff points, and all those points will be very valuable as this season goes on and into the playoffs. So already here tonight, racing for the first set of playoff points here in the first stage of race number 1. I'm still joined by Austin Green and now Ron Morris Jr.
They stay 2x2 now as they cross the line through the crowd with Kyler Wynn doing a lot of pushing on the back bumper of his teammate Malik Ray. Devin Ray on the outside. Actually tuck in line just as quickly as they do. Up front, Malik Ray is going to split to the outside. Now, I know we're going to be spending a lot of time tonight talking about different rules, and one of the biggest ones is going to be this new penalty system. Ron, I know that it's something you worked quite a bit on, and we're already seeing just how clean these guys have been so far. Tell us a little bit about it and how you think it's going to help the racing here this season.
Yeah, man. I want want to promote some good hard racing, and we usually get that with our format with the stage breaks and the pit stops, usually the green flag pit stops. But just tired of a lot of things that happen. So just trying to incorporate a penalty system in there to keep it clean. All the money goes back to the driver. If the driver cause one wreck, it's an EOL, one caution. Cause another caution, it's a $5 penalty. Cause another caution, they have to pay a $10 penalty. As well as that, points accumulate throughout the season. So every EOL is a point. Every warning EOL is 5 points. So once they accumulate a certain amount of points, you got to pay a penalty, and it accumulates throughout the season. So just trying to clean things up, man. I want to get hard racing, but I want to see clean racing. Also, a big one is lap. Stuff happens. So just trying to clean it up, man. I want them to race to caution. Race them, not ready to win the race. So, I hope it helps.
Well, I hope it does too, but I'll tell you what, we got 3 wide action here already. 5 laps into this one. The 82 Kyler Wynn throwing a massive block here in the middle. Here comes Garrett Maines in the Wiggins water here on the top. Daniel Falkingham is well behind him looking for some more. I'll tell you what, here's the 18 as well, Wyatt Gray. Be nice to see him mix it up with some of these top dogs up here. So I'll tell you what, that kid is really fast no matter where he is at, what truck, what car combination. We've seen him in the PGR Late Series doing very well, almost won the championship there. So, man, I'll tell you what, Ron, what a great field here tonight as we go back to 2 wide. Better of that, Kyler Wynn still the leader.
Still 2x2 as they climb the banking into turn number 1. You mentioned the car track combo. Well, speaking of that, we're going to see a lot of changes this season now. We kind of switched it around a little bit in general in previous seasons, but this year, we're going truck, Xfinity Cup, truck, Xfinity Cup, back and forth in every track combo super speedway-wise that you can think of. So certainly I think it's going to help the guys that are good in every car, but if you're only good in one series, I think that almost makes it more important to try to get out here and perform. Let's say the truck's your favorite car. Well, get out here and get the job done tonight. Try to get yourself locked in now so that you don't have to stress about it when we go into the next gens. And well, we know how crazy those cars are. Nonetheless, though, how about the push on the outside? Nick Seipel almost was able to get Ethan Eckert clear, but the run's going to stall out, and they'll stay 3 wide as they work down towards turn 1.
Yeah, man, on the truck, the rotation was something I left up to the drivers, and they wanted that. So, and I want to see guys, good drivers learn to drive any car they can. So, but Nick Seipel's one of the guys that impressed me throughout PGR. So I reached out to him about running the series, man, and I'm glad to see him out here. But yeah, him and Ethan Eckert up there on the top lane, making it work by themselves. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 3 wide, man. They're not really they're racing clean, but they're not backing off any. So that's what I want to see, man. Racing hard, guys. So here to come 3 wide to the tri-oval. 3 cars on the outside. They're doing pretty good there. Chase Estrada's coming up there to help them out with that push.
And yes, he is. That is one more lap in the books. Lap 8 of 60 here tonight. Like we said, we will have that stage break at lap number 20. We're working with a couple people in the chat here tonight. Did have the race audio down the race audio up a little too much to start tonight. Called the street stock race last week and had to crank them up a little bit for those cars. So just getting the audio dialed in. It seems like it's doing a lot better. So apologies here in the beginning of this race. It's season 12 of Ethan Eckert in the 5G Verizon Craftsman Truck Ford. He's to the point now here on the bottom. A power move for him. Malik Ray still in the middle here. And here comes the 75. You guys mentioned him. Nick Seipel. He actually, man, I love that guy. I'll tell you what, he pushed me to victory in the PGR Late Series for the championship. Very good driver, very underrated. You see him on the top lane right now being pushed by the 8 of Chase Mastretta. So we'll see how well that third will work. It looks like right now it's not going to be the move as these trucks, I should say, all 2x2 here on the bottom 2 lanes.
It doesn't work out this time, but Nick Seipel, believe me, guys are taking mental notes of that, and they see how good of a job he was able to do pushing Ethan Eckert to the front, so they'll be trying to jump out 3 wide with that 75 truck later in this race. By the way, quick note, Mark Vondel looks like the only truck that has lost the pack at this time. So he's going to be waiting for the stage break caution, which we are just about at the halfway point through stage number 1. Up front, though, Ethan Eckert now back in charge. Kyler Wynn, though, not going to stay patient too long. He'll jump back to the outside. Malik Ray with a big push. They go by Brock Westmoreland. That's the other truck that's not currently on the lead lap as they cross the start-finish line. That lap goes to Kyler Wynn, but they stay 2 by 2, fellas. They're about halfway through, and really, so far, we have not seen much of this third lane.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Brock there or Mark, but yeah, we should be coming up on green flag pit stops here pretty soon. What do we get? We're at lap 10. What do we get? About 16 laps on these trucks. So we'll start seeing everybody start trying to work their way into the bottom line for pit stops. But we do allow pitting from the top lane. But if they cause a wreck coming in from the top lane, it is a penalty. It's a drive-through. So we should start seeing these guys kind of ease back and get back, towards the bottom for pit stops.
Looks like we have some coming in right now. It looks like Daniel Eberhardt, teammate Dylan Jones coming to pit lane, so they'll be your first takers here tonight, and we'll see if that moves keeps them near the front. Just going in together, we'll have to see. A lot of these guys on that outside lane, we'll have to see as well if they can either get down to the bottom. You see Devin Ray right there leading now here on the bottom, but that's a big thing here is, when you wind those laps down, and don't really pay too much attention, you get stuck in that second lane having to pit from it, and sometimes if those guys on the bottom aren't going in, you can't really make that move on down to pit lane. So we'll have to see if these guys can communicate and make sure they got all on and off pit road safely.
Yeah, I guess that window opens, so now we're starting to get some guys in. I don't even remember in the trucks how many laps we get off 40%, but it's got to be getting close. But that window's open, so they should be able to make it now to the stage break.
Yeah, Kenny McCullough Jr. is in. Chris McCullough as well. Mark Vondel will stay up here in the front. The two's going to lead Kyler Wynn. Man, there's been some vicious blocks and some hard racing up front here. Here comes the 1 and the 88. So all racing for some prime real estate here as we get closer and closer to all these drivers up here needing to pit. And we'll see how they end up blending in with everybody that has already pit. So we will see if they come in now. Will Devin Ray lead a big contingent of trucks on the pit lane? He will. Here they come.
And Kyler Wynn going to be the first one in. He actually dove in aggressive. Wow, that was close in the tribal. I hope they all kept it together, but this big group that just came into the pits, looks like everybody got down to speed, 3 and 4 wide out back, but no issues there. So far, so good for the first group of pit stops. Kyler Wynn let him in. We'll see if he can lead him out, but man, if you want stage points, you have got to be perfect. You can't slide, you can't spin the tires on the way out, and you definitely can't afford to give yourself a penalty right here.
Here comes Garrett Maines on the backstretch. He stayed out with Falkingham, Baker, Ethan Eckert in tow. We'll see if these guys staying out one lap longer will give them any advantage. They're all going to be coming down pit lane right now. We'll see how they end up blending in with Kyler Wynn and that group. Here they come down to pit lane and down to pit road speed of 55 miles an hour.
Yeah, it looks like they had a pretty clean. Oh, we got a couple getting sideways there coming in. Not sure who that is. I think that was Landon that may have gotten sideways, but he saved it. Looks like he got back up with the pack for pit. So we did have one driver get sideways there coming in. So it looks like he gathered it back up. But we'll have to see if he is able to tag on with that pack coming out. So smaller pack there, so they may hurt themselves a little bit coming out of pit road and getting back up to speed.
Yeah, that was Nathan Harper and Jeffrey Merck. Here you see the 88 of Daniel Falkingham, the 2025 PGR 500 champion, winner of $2,000. He is going to blend in here when he gets around turn number 2. We'll see where the run's coming. It's probably going to be coming from Kyler Wynn. This is going to give you guys, viewers, a good vantage point of the pit stops. And here they come. Blending onto the racetrack, you see Kyler Wynn leading a contingent of trucks here in the middle lane, and we'll see who wins this battle. It looks to me right now, Kyler Wynn surges ahead of the leader of Daniel Falkingham.
It always seems like that group that comes out behind the other group is always the one that gets the advantage because they get that big slingshot once they catch up. But we're going to be right about 6 laps to go here in the stage, and I think it's time for these guys to take the gloves off. They're getting ready to get aggressive, and this is where you got to make that decision. Do you get aggressive for these stage points, or do you save your truck for a chance at the end to win the race? I think right now most of them are content with trying to go for stage points. 3 wide now. Ethan Eckert up top. Devin Ray's going to get split. Malik Ray takes the bottom lane. He'll get a push from Joshua McCullough. And now the 55 going to go to the lead off of 2, but that middle getting organized. They've got the most help. Can they get back clear? Whoa! Ethan Eckert, what a save.
Yeah, save off the nose of, I believe, Logan York. Man, he was completely almost sideways there. Great save, though, by the young buck, Ethan Eckert. Man, I'll tell you what, Devin Ray right now putting on a clinic up in the front of this field. Don't see him off here or off as often as he used to be here on the service, but always good to see him back here in a truck. He is very good in this vehicle and this combination, so we'll see if he can keep that 2 Royal Purple machine up front. Kyler Wynn now leading the top again. Nick Sipple doing great here in the 75. And here comes the 05 as well. The 05, Josh McCullough. Haven't talked about him much, but he is another driver who has been really, really consistent of late. Very good at the next gen and did a great job in the 500 events a couple weeks back. But see if Josh McCullough could, stamp his name and get that win here in week number 1 of season 6. 16 laps in of 60. We're getting ever so close to that stage break here tonight.
Yeah, we got Devin getting pushed around by Malik, so Ray and Ray. Yeah, Devin runs really good in these trucks. He can't run every week because of his job, but
Trouble out back, one on the wall.
Trouble out back.
Looks like they're going to keep everybody else together. Sorry to cut you off, Ron. I think that was.
No, I'm gonna step away just to make sure. It's not nothing.
Might have been. I'm trying to figure out who that was. Was it Davenport? Or was it Chris? I can't tell exactly which car that was. One of the. I can't tell exactly who it was. I don't have my live timing up. Somebody went into the wall though, coming through the tri-oval. And just as Dylan Jones goes around it here, I think it was Mike Davenport. Not sure what unfolded, but that's a tough break for Davenport as we get close to the end of the stage.
Yeah, Davenport, he got in the wall there. I think it was Landon got together. Looks like he's going to go a lap down. No fast repair. Looks like he got a lot of damage. So tough break for Davenport there.
Tough break it is. Devin Ray still leads here. Here comes Matthew Baker, though. I haven't talked about him yet here tonight, but here he is in that Coasting Thunder number 5 team NBG, getting a push from Garrett Maines. And I'll tell you what, he is sneaky good everywhere we go. But, when it's time to go and get to a checkered flag, whether it be a stage or a race, he turns it up a notch. He can come from the back to the front very quick. Here comes Matthew Baker at rapid pace. We'll see if he could steal this one here tonight for the stage. He's one of the best here in the Super Speedway Money Race community. Ethan Eckert, though, has other plans. He's going to go up to the top lane to block that run of the 5. So the 12 is going to lead now on top. Devin Ray to the middle. Opens up the door for the 75 of Team PGR's Nick Sipple on the bottom.
For Ethan there, overshot just a little bit, but you figure the track temp's almost 130 degrees, so he's probably just sliding around. Baker cuts him a break in. Now that they're lined up, they're going to make some progress here down the backstretch. Watch this run. Oh, my goodness. Baker almost, he might be tagged into the back bumper. Look at the push. The 5, Matthew Baker, going to push Ethan Eckert clear. Eckert will drop a lane. Devin Ray looks a lane lower. Eckert blocks again. And, boy, that was a perfect move to not only clear himself, but bring the man who pushed him up there down as well. Eckert goes to the lead. Matthew Baker takes the point on the outside. And we're going to be coming to, I believe, 1 to go in the stage right here.
Yeah, 1 to go in the stage when we get to the line. Are we, though? Devin Ray hard into the wall. The 2 hard into the outside fence. And the heavy damage to the right side of his truck here tonight. Side by side at the line, it's Nick Sipple leading this lap. But who's going to lead the next one? That's going to be the important one. And the stage win. We are less than almost 2 miles from that win. 12, Ethan Eckert in the middle, Nick Sipple on the bottom. Here comes Kyler Wynn back on top of the push from Garrett Maines down the backstretch.
Oh, they're going to wreck. Ethan Eckert into Baker. Baker up and over on the backstretch as they go into 3. Stephen Miles is in it. Multiple other trucks involved as the caution is out. Stage is going to end with a wreck. And for Matthew Baker here, even though that truck got up in the air, I think he's okay. The 14 Vicente Guerrero was involved. We got a couple others here. Ethan Eckert And man, so good for so long, but I was worried something was going to give, and that's a horrible time for it too. These guys were setting up for what was going to be a phenomenal finish to the stage, and instead it ends with a lot of guys with some damage now that they're going to have to go get fixed.
Yeah, wow, unbelievable. Did not see that coming. Thought we were going to get to the end of the stage as we have done in so many seasons past. We're going to go back to the replay of the yellow flag, but a lot of drivers here involved. We're going to have to find out the source of the start of this wreck here. We're going to have to back it up just a little bit. Matthew Baker involved, Ethan Eckert involved as well.
And I'll tell you what, I know you're getting back to it here, Mike, but it's just, we just saw it a lap ago, which is why it's so interesting, but Baker gave a phenomenal shove to Ethan that last lap. Now, I think he's going to get a little bit of a shove here from Daniel Falkingham as they're coming off of turn 2, and that actually gets Baker down the hill, gets him a little sideways and down the hill, and that push kind of propels him into the left side of Ethan's back bumper. And then Baker seems to kind of save it. Now he's offset to the right, and right as he goes to kind of center back up, he's just, that slight swipe is all it takes. Gets that 12 truck pointed to the right. Kyler went on the outside, nothing he can do, and once the wreck starts, I mean, there's just nothing you can do. It's like a chain reaction here. Once Ethan's kind of gone full 180 and Baker gets collected here, somehow gets the least amount of damage, even though he goes up and over. But then Eckert here gets hit a few times. Looks like Jared Haynes with nowhere to go, along with a few others. I think Joshua McCullough had some contact. So certainly a tough ending to that stage for a few of the guys that maybe had the best moves to get up there.
Yeah, showing the viewers exactly what you were talking about there. The 88 shoving the 5 a little bit, and it put him offset of that 12. You'll see that right there. And look at the ride. Matthew Baker on the right side, driver's side of his truck here on the backstretch. But like you said, he did take some damage. We'll see if he can get to pit lane and fix some of that. But, man, yeah, something you didn't want to see there on the last lap here coming to the stage. But everyone racing hard, pushing hard, bumper to bumper, and that's what you're going to get there. We're going to jump in the cockpit of the 5 truck, watch this one back in real time, and what a ride here. There you go, see Ethan Eckert come back down the nose of the 5 on his side, right back on all 4 of his Goodyear tires as he comes to a stop. So lots of trucks involved here at the end of this stage, and some good trucks too. So we'll see if these guys can come down pit lane and fix as much damage as possible under this caution here tonight. No fast repairs, so we'll see how this is all going to play out. Right now, though, see Devin Ray. We saw him actually, Austin, get caught up. You know, he went all the way, hit that wall before we got the white flag of that stage. He's on pit lane right now. There you see the 82 of Kyler Wynn, Ethan Eckert as well. Matthew Baker still in his stall. Josh McCullough, it looks like, too. So bad luck early for those guys, though. The only stage here tonight in the books. Man, I don't even know who won it at this point because we were focusing on that wreck. But nonetheless, Malik Ray right now is going to be scored your leader as we will get back to green flag racing after we complete this lap under caution here on RMR Tuesday Night Thunder.
Yeah, and it's obviously unfortunate about the wrecks, but the other unfortunate part about it is anybody that gets damaged, whether it's an incident that brings out a caution or not, there's no fast repairs. So you're automatically going in and losing, 1 or 2 laps just to try to get all that damage fixed. And that's kind of the trade-off. It keeps the realistic aspect in it, but at the same time, if you get involved in an incident, that's kind of the price you pay. Now, getting back to who won that stage, if it was thrown at the time of caution here, unless I'm missing something, I think this is going to go to the 75. And Nick Seipel, how about that for a way to start off the season for Seipel? How about that?
Yeah, top 5 is going to be Sipple. So it's going to be Nick Sipple, Kyler Wynn, Logan York, Malik Ray, and Daniel Falkingham. That's going to be the top 5. And it is $30 payday for Sipple for winning that stage, plus 5 stage points and a stage win for championship. So,
well, you heard it there from Ron Morris Jr. and Austin Green, the 75. You see him on your screen from Goobertown, Arkansas. It's Nick Sipple for Team PGR. The first $30 goes to him, a stage victory and some playoff points for down the road as we see who will end up cycling up front. Nick Sipple, obviously, to pit road there, so he's going to go back just a little bit. On our screen, it's either, I believe it's going to be Daniel Falkingham, your leader, John Ward here in second, Jeff Merck, Chase Mistretta, and Nathan Harper rounding out your top 5. So we were going to have a caution anyway, so one caution here tonight. Unfortunately, it wasn't at the end of the stage, but it was just before a big wreck there. Matthew Baker, Josh McCullough. We saw Kyler win on pit road, so a lot of trucks here on pit lane. Fixing damage here tonight, Devin Ray as well. So we'll see if these guys can get these trucks fixed up back out on the racing surface, give themselves a shot as we get deeper into this race. But, you know, I'd like to see here now, no stage the rest of the time, if we can get to another green flag stop and or 2 and really get this race going here tonight. Daniel Falkingham here on the bottom, John Ward on the top as the pace car lights are out, and pace car's now back under the yellow, heading down pit lane again. We'll get our second restart here of the night.
As they'll work in to the tri-oval, Falkingham and John Ward. That is 2 very, very strong trucks. Looking if they can get a good restart. And now you've got a little bit of a mix-up up front, and some of the heavy hitters still at the back. So you know that that's going to lead to probably some aggression here, at least in the early portions, as the green flag now back in the air. And we are underway in the final stage of Tuesday Night Thunder here tonight already. Brock Westmoreland pulling out a line. I don't think that's to go to the front. I think he's trying to go to the back. Nonetheless, up front, Falkingham and Ward climb the banking through 1 and 2. Chase Mistretta there early, but he doesn't have any help out back. It's the bottom showing much more organization. How long will this last? And how many are they going to get clear? Will Jeff Merck make the move up if he gets it? We'll have to see. Nothing yet. Still side by side down the back stretch.
Yeah, I guess Brock figured he was lucky to get his lap back, so he's just going to go back there and take it safe now, because Brock did go a lap down, and I guess he got the lucky dog there. So, I hope 2 wide now. Hopefully we see some clean racing for a few laps. They should kind of ease out a little bit and just ride for a few laps now, hopefully. But who knows? You know, we know these guys. They got some egos.
I was just going to talk about Ambrose Knievel in the 404, I should say, was up there in the top 7, but he's left out the drive by the 5 of Matthew Baker. Now to the 3rd lane and all by himself, heading to the back now of this pack from Gold Bar, Washington. Blind Squirrel Racing. Ambrose Knievel now dropping back to the end of this pack. Daniel Falkingham's going to lead it down here, down the back stretch. Chase Mistretta in the middle. Here goes a move from Jeff Merck to the top. Mistretta, I don't know, he gets out of the line all the way to the 3rd, not sure why. Back to 3 wide with Mistretta on the outside. Jeff Merck now a big move here to the middle. And there goes, I believe that's Logan York. He's going to dive back down. And Chase Mistretta, luckily to get back here into this middle lane and not lose too many spots here. 60, Jeff Merck now to the lead.
Yeah, that move didn't quite work out. I'm not sure if Chase was unhappy with Merck about something and tried to split him, or if somehow he's trying to go back to get linked up. As man, he just made another sketchy move to the bottom. He keeps it together, though, and we stay 2 by 2. I think now is as good of a time as any to go ahead and hop out. I am going to head to bed, but man, these guys putting on a great show so far. Looking forward to seeing how things turn out in the morning. And Michael, Ron, it's always good sharing the booth with you guys. Appreciate you having me, and looking forward to what these guys can do the rest of the season.
I appreciate you, man. Well, you heard Austin Green going to sign out here tonight. Glad he was able to carry some of this race with us here tonight. As you see, Jeff Merck in the 60 leading him. Garrett Maines now to the outside. 2 by 2 all the way through lap 26 of 60. Will be lap 27 here in a second. Man, some of these guys racing really hard. There goes Logan York. Matt Lee to the outside, trying to make that 3rd work as well. And now Matt Lee's going to think better, go back down. So, yeah, it's kind of funny, man. They're all fishing for the 3rd, but as soon as, they get no more takers, it looks like one goes back down, the other gets hung out. Well, there goes Nick Sipple to the bottom. That's going to open up the door for Logan York to get back in. So, yeah, just some crazy moves going on here, at least on my screen, Ron. What do you see?
Yeah, Logan's one of those guys that's going to test the waters. He's going to see what he's got for later. Logan's one of those guys that will go 3rd lane. He'll go to the front, then he'll back off to the back. He's a smart racer. He's testing the waters to see what he's going to have later. Chase earlier, I think he might have just had a run and didn't want to get in the back of Merck. It just went up, but it'll all worked out for him. They were all able to get back down. So back to 2 wide. Maybe we'll see some easy racing here for a few laps.
Yeah, you see the cockpit and the gyro cam here from Logan York. You can see all that banking here in the turns at Talladega as it come off the banking. Still a little banking here on the back and the front stretch, but not as much as those corners. Man, they are very steep walls here. Logan York now on the high side, getting it done. Now second in line here, right behind Kyler Wynn. So Logan York making moves to the front of this pack. And I'll tell you what, Ron, I've been in a lot of these races. Man, I damn near won the championship 2 seasons ago. And I'll tell you what, the biggest thing in these races, because a lot of these tend to go green, is those green flag pit stops, especially here after stage number 1. You want to be in the front of this pack. You at least want to be in the front half of this pack, especially around some of your teammates in case you need to, bridge the gap just a little bit. So, we'll see action pick up as these fuel cells get lower and lower of Sunoco race fuel the longer we go into this run. So we'll keep an eye on that with 40% fuel. We definitely are going to have a couple more green flag stops if we stay green. You see Garrett Maines now to the bottom of the track and the point at Talladega.
That's right. No surprise. Garrett Maines, he's not in the Coke Series anymore, but he's just as good as any of them. But, yeah, that's by design, man, with the low fuel load. These guys, they got to make green flag pit stops. They got to make them. They can't mess up if they want to stay up there in the pack. And like you said, before you get that pit stop, you don't want to pit from the back. You want to be up there at the front, leave yourself a little bit of margin for error. You mess up, you're still in the pack. So that's what we see whenever we get close to time to make those green flag stops. We see those guys trying to get themselves back up to the front, and then they might back off the ride a little bit. But yeah, no surprise here. Merck, glad to see Merck up front, having a good run. But man, we got a stacked field here, man. These guys are good. These guys are really good. That's really good racing.
Well, really good racing here tonight out of Jared Haynes. They're in that Craftsman Ford for the Jack Shack. You see him in that purple, yellow, and green, carrying a camera here tonight. You see him in the bottom right-hand corner of your screens. A nice little setup there. He's strapped in, ready to go on the wheel. Man, you could see him sawing on that wheel. Right, left. Jared Haynes, man, always cool to see him here on the cams. Giving all our viewers a great shot in his cockpit here tonight. We'll see if the 7 Jack Shack machine of Jared Haynes can keep plucking him off. He is scored right now in the 9th position. We'll see if he can get closer and closer and get that win here in RMR. But right now it's the heavy hitters still up front. Garrett Maines, Jeff Merck now to the top, as well as Kyler Wynn. So we'll see as this race progresses how we will get things sorted out. See Baker and Jared Haynes up there. Those are the only 2 guys carrying an onboard camera here with us tonight. Both of them really focused right now. Matthew Baker especially trying to come back from that near flip earlier, and he's already back into just about the fringe of the top 10.
Yeah, I think Baker's truck is pretty good. It looks like he's able to keep up. I don't see a whole lot of damage on that truck. So I keep seeing Logan and Chase kind of dipping up like they want to go third, but I think they decided better and they decided to go 2. So we still got 2 wide racing. Merck just came down with what a lot of people call a block. All that's about cooling. A lot of guys don't understand that. That if you don't go down and clear your guy that's behind you, he gets hot and you lose all your help. So that's why a lot of people that are out there that don't understand this kind of racing, you're going to see that. Oh, he got a bump there from Kyler and almost got a little sideways, but he saved it. So a nice save. But yeah, the track temp's hot, so track's slick. So track's, what is it, over 100 degrees. So we got a good hot slick track tonight.
Well, we're bringing that weather up for our viewers. 127 degrees on that racing surface, 81 degrees outside. So very hot track temp. And speak of hot track temp, I'll tell you what, things are going to be heating up. We're getting closer and closer to that second green flag stop here of tonight's race. And right now, all these drivers are going to be jockeying to either get to the bottom. If not, they'll be having to pit from that second lane. We'll see if any can stretch it out a little bit farther. Kyler Wynn's going to get out of line purposely. He's going to drop back in that 82. We'll have to see what his idea or agenda is doing that. Chase Mistretta as well. So maybe going to find teammates, try to link up for these green flag stops. We are in the drone cam. A great shot here on the front stretch here at Talladega. And that's that start-finish line closer to turn number 1 than any other racetrack. A really cool feature here on this super speedways. Garrett Maines, Daniel Falkingham now pushing him. There's the 22, Nathan Harper as well, getting into the top 5.
Yeah, I guess those guys backed off to just get down on the inside lane, I believe. The only thing I could figure, both of those guys are really good at pit stops. They don't really have to, myself, if I'm going to mess up, that's where I'm going to mess up. So I try to get myself near the front where if I mess up, I'm not losing. But those guys are really good at pit stops, so they know they're going to be able to tag on. So I guess they went back, and here we go. Got green flag stops coming. Looks like Matt Lee's first up. Changed his mind.
Yes, he did. He's going to stay out on the racetrack. He's going to lose a lot of time. Not sure the thinking behind that. There's Kyler Wynn. Devin Ray, some trouble coming to pit lane. But Kyler Wynn's going to lead this first contingent down. Josh McCullough as well. So we'll have to see how that plays out for Kyler Wynn. He's up front racing, and next thing you know, he hops out of line for some reason. Goes back. Here they are. You see a lot of drivers getting to the bottom lane here on the... Ooh, do we have somebody out of fuel? Somebody's wiggling there. I believe it's Logan York. I'm not sure. He was wiggling that truck. Oh, I don't know. It looks like he's still good. He gets to the bottom of the racetrack, and watch this. Is all these trucks going to come to pit lane?
Yeah, Matt Lee is going to be the big loser here because he lost the pack, and there's no way he's going to come out with this pack unless he... Oh, he got a great pit entry.
He
didn't go again.
I missed some of that. Garrett Maines into the grass.
That's no caution.
No caution here. Wow, Garrett Maines. He's back on the pit lane. There's Matt Lee. We're going to go back to pit lane. Man, I just clicked off of that too. Wish I could have got that. Here comes Jeff Merck. We'll see who leads him off here is Matthew Baker, Falkingham. Falkingham's going to lead him off. Matthew Baker, Nathan Harper right behind. So some drama coming on the pit lane. We'll see how that affects Garrett Maines. Can't go back. We're going to stay live here. As Daniel Falkingham leads Garrett Maines and Nathan Harper. We're able to see, Ron, what happened coming to pit lane there.
Yeah, not really able to see what happened there. I haven't gone back and look at it yet, but I had a few people that got speeding on pit, and I had one that came in and tried to go out, and I cleared black, so I might have messed up there. So let me go check on that real quick. I'll be right back.
Ron Morris will be right back with us, but here's Kyler Wynn, so that strategy plays apart for him. Here's him and Josh McCullough working really well. They're going to stay in this main pack, so didn't hurt them one bit to drop back and pit before these leaders. The biggest leader here has got to be Garrett Maines. He is all by himself, being scored right now in the 22nd position, and just tough break for him. You see his rear bumpers got damaged, so big trouble coming to pit lane. Fortunately, we're not going to be able to go back to that. We're going to stay here live. Your new leader of the race, go figure, it's Matthew Baker. Probably was able to get all his damage fixed. And the man from Magnolia, Texas, now Jacksonville, Florida, is in the lead of this one for NBG Motorsports. Never count him out. He's got his teammate here on the top in the 60 of Jeff Merck. So NBG now cycling up to the front. They're working with Nathan Harper as well. Matt Lee, he had some trouble. He is now being scored all by himself in 25th. He was coming to pit lane, thought better of it. Not sure why, maybe a teammate miscommunication there, but he lost a lot of his position. So, yeah, Matt, that's the name of the game. If we go green, only 23 laps to go and at least one more pit stop. A lot of these guys, Garrett Maines, Matt Lee, is going to be in trouble here tonight.
Yeah, there's a couple people not happy about that. I think it was Chris McCullough. Somebody got spun down on pit road. I had to clear, and when I cleared a couple other guys or at least one other that was speeding. But I did assess him a drive-through penalty to make up for that, so he owned up to it. I will go back and check the log to see if anybody else was speeding after the race, and penalties will be applied after. But here, if iRacing doesn't throw a caution just because they wreck on pit road, I don't throw a caution. Have to be 3 or more cars to throw a yellow if iRacing doesn't throw it.
Well, we're going to walk through this field really quick. Your leader currently Matthew Baker, Daniel Falkingham right behind him. Jeff Murphy's been a player all night right now. Is going to shuffle to second. Kyler Wynn from Canada, he is in fourth. Nathan Harper fifth. Jared Haynes, we talked about him earlier. Still a great run for Jared in the sixth position. John Ward right now. We haven't talked really about him as well. Methodically in that bad, fast Toyota right now being scored in seventh. Ethan Eckert, a little trouble there. Get turned by Baker in that first stage of the night. Ethan Eckert right now, ninth position. Malik Ray back in the top 10 in that 55 machine. Stephen Miles right now. Dylan Jones, here he comes just outside the top 10 is him and Heath Job. Daniel Eberhardt, Josh McCullough, Kenny McCullough in the field tonight. Some guys we haven't talked about. We'll see if some of these guys can make a comeback here, get to the front. Sean Corbett, Logan York, Landon Velicky, and Wyatt Gray. That's currently your top 20. And you see all those drivers here in this picture. Chase Mastretta as well. Brock Westmoreland is, I believe, at least down one lap, trying to get his lap back here tonight. So Chase Mastretta in 21st. That's all the guys here in the main pack. You're gonna have to go all the way back to Matt Lee, Garrett Maines, and Mark Von Dell right now, staying on the lead lap, but in no man's land. We'll see if they can make a comeback. Devin Ray, Chris McCullough, Vincente Guerrero, and Mike Davenport, all the guys right now with a lot of trouble that are most likely out of contention here tonight. So we go back up to the front. Daniel Falkingham's going to block that run from the middle lane and block the 5 of Matthew Baker. But that opens up the door for the 22, that Chick-fil-A truck. That is Nathan Harper here on the bottom. Falkingham back down to the bottom as well.
Yeah, we got 20 laps to go, so without a caution, a lot of those guys who have lost that draft are probably screwed. So I know they're hoping for a caution. But we got pretty clean racing up front now. Too wide. Baker's up there controlling. Falkenham, no surprise at who's up there. Surprised to see Wyatt drop back a little bit. He was up running up front. Kenny's one of those guys. Kenny McCullough, he's one of those guys that's going to sit back there and be conservative, until we get past that last pit stop. So I think we're going to have to make one more pit stop. So that's when it'll heat up. We'll start seeing some more heavy racing.
Absolutely, we will. But with 19 laps to go and some green flag stops coming up pretty soon, why don't we do a crank it up here on a Tuesday night for Tuesday Night Thunder. Back here live on the PGR eSports Network, it's Michael Triscaro and Ron Morris Jr. Jeff Merck to the point, being pushed by his teammate Matthew Baker. Team NBG right now the team to beat. On the top side, it's the 55 Malik Ray getting a great shove down the backstretch here by Steven Miles. We are 2 by 2.
And here we go. We got Dylan Jones back up here at the front. No big surprise there. I know Dylan finished really high in the championship last season. So, yeah. But we're going to start seeing pit stops here within the next 2 to 3 laps because they'll be in the window. So, look for that. We got 15 laps to go now. So, we're going to start seeing green flag pit stops, and then it's going to heat up. So, let's go. Let's get ready.
And the lightning gonna strike here on a Tuesday night for Tuesday Night Thunder. We've had only one caution here tonight, and that was on the white flag lap of the stage. The one and only stage, lap number 20 here tonight. Nick Sipple was your winner of that stage. But right now, we are just brewing and getting ready for that last run of the night. All these drivers getting ready to make that money stop, that much important money stop. You cannot have a problem this late in the race because there is a chance we go all the way to the checkered flag in this one. A lot of these trucks now on that bottom lane. You don't see many there on the top as we tick them off. There'll be 14 laps to go at the line. This is turning out to be a really good race here tonight. Team NBG in command with 3 drivers here in your top 6 or 7. Matt Lee, the only guy right now trying to battle back for Team NBG, but long way to go. The 24, a big player in this one as well. That is Steven Miles. Here comes Daniel Eberhardt, the third as well, right behind his teammate Dylan Jones. Look for those guys to make some sparks fly here late.
Yeah, D3 and Dylan will hook up. Nathan Harper, super speedway guru. He's up here in the top 10, so good run for him. We mentioned Jared a few times, Jared Haynes. Ward, no surprise there. Ward's up front, Sipple, and Ethan's still in the mix here. So got a good stacked field up here in the front. Merck's impressing me here. Merck's running a really good race. Of course, he's got one of the best pushers behind him though with Baker. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's one guy that needs a win. It's going to be the 60 of Jeff Merck. Had some bad luck of late. We'll see if he can get off the schneid and into victory lane and start his season off on a high note. Malik Ray, though, still in charge here of that middle lane. Just 4 trucks deep right there. The rest of them mostly parading here on the bottom. So Merck's going to lead Ray, Baker third, Miles, and here goes Jeff Merck and a slew of other trucks.
There we go. Pit stop's coming.
Hard on the brakes. It looks like Logan York. Is he going to spin?
Oh, he saved it. Oh, he saved it. Good save there, Logan. Looks like everybody got in fairly clean. This next group is going to be Malik, Miles, Kenny, McCullough, Wyatt, and Ethan. So we'll see them come in this next lap, most likely.
Yeah, it's a train of 5 trucks. Everybody else down and on to pit lane. We'll see if Malik, Ray, and this group how they will cycle in to all the drivers who just pit. Right now, we'll give you that view. Daniel Falkingham underneath here on the apron, making his way to the pit exit, that blue cone just on the exit of turn number 2. He is linked up with the 5 of Matthew Baker and the 60 of Jeff Merck. A little bit behind them is Nick Sipple, Nathan Harper, and John Ward. So a little bit more spread out. These guys should come back together. Here's Malik Gray, Wyatt Gray, Ethan Eckert, Kenny McCullough all in the pit lane.
Yeah, all 5 of those guys got in good. So as long as they can come out together like they came in, they should be in good shape to stay with that other pack or at least tag on to them. So let's see if they all have a good stop or not. The ones that are out there, we got here they come and going out. Looks like they're all coming out pretty close together. So Ethan came out first. We got Malik behind him, Steven Miles. Ethan got out to a really big start there, but they need to get back together. And here comes the pack blowing by them. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to tag on.
We'll see if they can. It's a great shot here in your camera view. Nick Sipple, man, he is being aggressive. He's already making that second lane, trying to make it work. He has no helpers yet. We'll see how that works out for the 75. I'll tell you what, Ethan Eckert on pit road looked like he went to the wrong pit box, and I thought it was like, whoa, I'm not in the right box. Had to go forward a little bit more, but we have a breakaway up front. It's a 6-truck breakaway that's going to end with John Ward. But Landon Velke is in tow. That's a name we haven't really said much tonight. That's a driver that spends most of his time up front. A little bit different method here tonight for the Nightmare Esports driver from Auburn University down there in Alabama. So the 62 making it known now. He is in it to win it with just 10 laps to go. Nick Sipple
almost lost and saved it. What a save.
What a save by the 75 off the front nose of John Ward. We are back 2x2 racing. Sipple back here in the middle, and he is looking for more. Matthew Baker to the top.
Second pack caught him, so now we got a pretty good sized pack there. Yeah, Dylan got hung out on the high side, but he recovered from it and was able to get back in the pack. So, yeah, Baker to the point, being pushed by Sipple. So, Falkenham on the bottom side. Baker goes down to take that inside lane. So we're gonna have a good race here to the end here. We're gonna have 9 to go coming to the line right here.
So it's a 15-truck pack, but if you look here, Kyler Wynn, Devin Ray's not on the lead lap, so we'll skip him, but Sean Corbett, Jared Haynes. So 3 out of these 4 trucks right now trying to stay in line and run as fast as they can. They're trying to attach to the next driver in front of them. You see John Ward. Here's the thing. Brock Westmoreland also not on the lead lap. He's going to bridge these guys, Ron. He's going to bridge Kyler Wynn and company to this pack. So as long as we stay green here, they are going to catch this field. So you're going to have about 18 drivers now, all a chance to win this thing if we stay green, as we are back 3 wide.
That's right. Gonna be a big pack here coming to the end, which is awesome. Glad to see them be able to get back there. So yeah, with Brock bridging that gap, here we go. Those 3 cars have caught back up now. Looks like Jared that got hung out a little bit there. So we'll see if he's able to catch up. He might be the loser out of that deal though.
Man, I'll tell you what, Malik Ray, Dylan Jones is hooked up. Dylan Jones goes to the bottom. He's going to leave Malik Ray. Baker will stay with Ray. Nick Sipple to the bottom. 3 wide still on the top. Baker's going to block the top. A hard, ooh, wow. That was almost a big wreck there. He's going to go and block the 18 of Wyatt Gray's run. So Baker being super aggressive here. 8 laps to go. 3 wide, and I'll tell you what, here we go. The lightning has struck. Let's see how long these drivers can go green, because they are all scattering for position.
Ooh.
The 11 comes together.
Dylan
18, 4
Jones
wide, 5 wide, 5 wide here at Talladega.
Oh, wow. All right. 7 laps to go, so it's time for it. But wow, these guys are crazy. Back to 3 wide now. No, that was some crazy saving right there. Some good driving for those guys. Man,
it really
was.
Was.
To be wild.
Yes, it is. Wyatt Gray, man, I'll tell you what, he impressed me. Like I said, all the way to the bottom from the 3rd. Wyatt Gray, what a move. We have seen some crazy moves by all these drivers here tonight. They seem to have worked so far. Dylan Jones now in the middle. Here he comes, the GOAT. Kenny McCullough Jr. on the top side, being pushed by Kyler Wynn and John Ward. We'll see if that 3rd can stay in contention here. Logan York's going to jump in, as is Devin Ray. 6 laps to go, here at Talladega. What a race here in RMR Tuesday Night Thunder, Season 6. This is race 1, Ron. If they're all like this, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a heck of a season.
All right. No surprise, seeing Kenny up here in the trucks. He's kind of like the master of the trucks, but the back of his truck is shaped like a U, where he must have got a aggressive push on the tailgate. So that may be hurting him a little bit, but rest of these trucks pretty clean. Man, Nick Sipple's impressing me. Running a really good race up here. He's a guy who has impressed me since I saw him running in the PGR 500. So here we are, 3 wide coming to the line. It's going to be 5 laps to go here.
Yeah, it's the newest team member to Team PGR. It's Nick Sipple in the 75.
He saved it. Corbett. That's going to be a caution. There's a caution.
Caution
right,
out
that.
for the 2nd time tonight. Sean Corbett involved, as is Nathan Harper. Steven Miles off the track, Malik Ray as well. We'll have to see if they are okay. But that will bring out the second yellow. What a heck of a race we had brewing up there in the front. This could possibly put us into overtime. We'll see. It might be a natural green-white checkered. We shall see. But caution out for the second time tonight. We're going to back this one up a little bit here. And we're going to watch there. Believe that is Steven Miles behind Harper. We'll see what initiated this wreck here. Right now, three wide. Sipple's going to come down, block the bottom. Hard pushing here right now. We'll see if they get offset. They do get offset a little bit. Harper and Corbett. Ooh, Kenny McCall is actually going to go down the racetrack. Net code off the 45. That's going to send the 45 of Corbett back up the track. Puts them all out of whack. Harper's nearly getting turned, and no fault to Miles. They had nowhere to go. And Corbett, unfortunately, right there, is going to go back up the racetrack, getting a Kyler win. And that was just some net code there. Kenny came down a little bit from that middle lane. And as soon as he got close to that 45, you could see that net code reaction there. We'll back it up one more time so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, that's one of those deals that, Kenny was coming down, but yeah, there was net code there. It really shouldn't have been a wreck, I don't think. They were kind of, they should have slammed doors, but it really shouldn't have been a wreck. So I called that net code.
Yeah, there you see the 03 in the middle of your screen. Watch him come down. He's going to come down the racetrack. Corbett's just coming up a little bit as well. He's going to go back down. Kenny's kind of swiping a little bit on Gray. Here he comes down the racetrack. Corbett's coming up just a tad, and that's a perfect shot of net code right there. So that will be the second caution of the evening. What a great race we are having. We're going to go back live to the front of this pack. We got some of these drivers pitting here right now. Some drivers involved in that wreck. But up front, it's going to be Daniel Falkingham and Nick Sipple. And if I'm not mistaken, Ron, are we going into overtime or are we going to have a natural green-white checker here?
Let's see. Looks like I think we're going to go into overtime here. Yeah, I think we're going to go into overtime because they haven't gone one to green yet.
So it looks to be like
lights are still on.
Yeah, lights are still on with 3 laps to go. So as soon as we get back around one more time, the lights will go off. We'll initiate NASCAR overtime. It'll be the first attempt of 3, I believe, here in RMR. And it'll be, man, I'll tell you what, it's been a heck of a race. We're on 2 cautions here tonight. That one, more net code related. The first one, just some tough racing. Nothing egregious by any driver here tonight. Been a super clean race, and that's what everyone's, came to watch here tonight. That's why, you want to race in this series on Tuesday nights because, it tends to be some of the cleanest racing. We'll hope to see that carry throughout the whole year.
Yeah, I hope so. I hate to see the net code, but it's a product of what we're dealing with racing on computers. So everybody's on different connections, and it just happens. There's no way to stop it.
Yeah, no way to stop it. We'll see where these guys are at that are carrying onboard cameras here tonight. There's Matthew Baker being scored in the top 10. We'll see if he can get that truck to victory lane. He can make those runs. We'll see if he can get connected here. He's only had a couple laps to do it. Okay, so Matthew Baker up there in the top 10. We're searching for Jared Haynes now. Jared Haynes, there he is in that Jack Shack Ford. And Jared Haynes, we'll see if he as well. He's been up there for a lot of the night, but he will have to make a surge here from about the 15th position or hope for another caution to see if he can get back up there in the top 10 and fight for a spot on the podium tonight. So thanks to Jared Haynes and Matthew Baker here tonight carrying those onboard cameras for our viewers. You see Daniel Falkingham here in the front get lined up. Nick Sipple here on the top. And the pace car lights are off. So we will get these trucks back up the full song when we get back around here. And we are looking forward to see who's get the victory lane here in race number 1 on the season.
Yeah, this is green, white checker 1 of 3. the little bit of drama we have now is going to be fuel. These guys that came in early, are they going to have enough fuel to make it? We'll just have to see. Well, I see a lot of the guys driving down an apron trying to save as much fuel as they can. So, with the caution, they should be good. But if we make it to the third one, you never know. They may need to come in for a splash.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been a good one. Let's hope this ends in a really good finish here tonight. Man, I would love to see Ron. I try to be biased here, but we talk about these top dogs all the time. You got Daniel Falkingham, Kenny McCullough, Jeff Merck. Guys have been doing it for a long time. Logan York's had some big wins. Matthew Baker, D3. But what a win this would be for this 75 truck. His teammates, I'm not sure. Mike Davenport's been wrecked out since mostly the beginning. Brock Westmoreland, way back there in 22nd. You see Brian Hennings here in the chat. He's not racing the league here on Tuesdays right now. He's going to go have some more fun on Tuesdays, race some of the other ones. So, he's up here right now without really his teammates. We'll see if he gets some help, but we would love to see him go to victory lane here.
Yeah, Nick or Wyatt too, man. Wyatt Gray would be a little bit of an upset there. So he's sitting there right now in third place. So there's a chance of that too. So here we go, coming to green for our first green white checker. Hopefully the last.
Yes, sir. 3 laps to go. They're approaching the Geico restart zone. Will this be the last restart of the night? Green flag back in there. It's Daniel Falkingham and Nick Sipple to the line. 2 by 2 all the way through. 2 laps to go here.
Yeah, Falkingham's getting a killer push from Wyatt there. So we should see this outside lane surge a little bit though, because we got Merck and Kyler pushing there, so we got a real organized line on the outside. So it should surge here coming out of the turn. Let's see what we get.
We'll see what we can get. It's who's going to make the move to the third. Will that kill the energy of the second? Remains to be seen. Nick Sipple is clear. Does he want it? He does. Him and Merck both double clear down in front of Falkingham. Wreck it out back. Nope, they're going to save it.
They saved it. I don't know how.
There goes Heath Job. Heath Job around back on the track. Hard into the wall.
All right, I'm going to go check
that.
The
59 back. Mark Vondell. Heavy damage. Most likely will end his night. Third caution of the night. Jeff Merck looked like your leader at the time of caution. But a hard hit for Mark Vondell. Third yellow of the night. And catastrophe here. Mid-pack. Heath Job involved. And let's see. I know there was some really hard racing going on in the middle. I don't even think it, Heath Job's just back here riding. I think we're going to have to go and look at Landon Velicky. Was side by side hard. Sorry, I'm still scrolling through looking for Velicky. Here he is. You see him right there. And here's Harper. Harper practically almost under the yellow. Josh McCall. Ooh, there it is. Right at the top. Landon's going to go down to avoid that. You see York and D3 getting in. Let's back that up one more time. Actually go right here. There it is. And I'll tell you what. This might have been some frustration here. Watch York. I'm not sure if he thought he was clear. He was not. He's going to come up. And he's going to go right up there and try to bully the 90 of Eberhard out of that position. And that's Eberhard's position. So Eberhard's going to hold that position. So York and Eberhard dooring each other. And, D3 has every right to stay there. He's going to get pushed. Man, those two trucks practically morph into one another. D3 is going to pay him back. Turn York practically right here. What a save there. Matthew Baker said, I don't want any of this. He's going to go back down. The guys are still dooring one another. That's something you do not want to see. And that's the reason why, Velicky and Harper come together farther back. I mean, Heath Job, absolutely nothing wrong. He's going to get completely and utterly turned here by Matt Lee just trying to avoid. I mean, all these trucks just trying to avoid this chaos. But, that's the 90 and the 02 of Logan York just, having a match with each other there. And it just killed a lot of people's days. There you see Heath Job Sean Corbett. Mark Vondell, I mean, he's completely destroyed. We'll have to wait Ron Morris to get the word on what he saw there, and a lot happened there. So, man, I can't wait to get Ron back up here to kind of tell us what happened. And I'll tell you what, it's possible that we missed some pit stops there. Some of these trucks weren't able to make it all the way. A lot of trucks getting onto pit lane. Matthew Baker, Kyler Wynn. I mean, Nick Sipple, he was up in the front. I mean, now look, Wyatt Gray's your leader. Stephen Miles second. Kenan McCall third. Ethan Eckert fourth. Velke fifth. Jared Haynes sixth. Malik Ray, or Matt Lee. So Matt Lee back in it. Seventh. Malik Ray in eighth. Garrett Maines now back in it. So those trucks that had some miscues earlier, now in the top 10 have a chance to win this thing. Look, Brock Westmoreland. What a comeback for Brock Westmoreland in the top 10. I mean, Nick Sipple now being scored in 12th. Daniel Falkingham behind him. Matthew Baker, Logan York. I mean, these are guys that all had a pit there. So all these other guys ahead of them here in the top 10 were getting extra fuel that whole time. They're going to cycle to the front. Some of them might be still saving in case there's another green-white checkered. But we are going to overtime number 2 of a possible 3. The pace car lights are out, so we will go green next time by. Your new leader, Wyatt Gray, in the 18 Toyota out of Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to the Buckeyes, OHIO, to Wyatt Gray. On his outside, Stephen Miles was the winner, I believe, last week, or one of the last couple weeks ago in RMR. We'll see if he can get it done here. So, man, this thing is far from over. We appreciate all the viewers here tonight. Everyone in the chat, Baker's mom getting active, Mike Davenport, Brian Hennings, all you guys for sharing some input here tonight. Carl Haynes. And we apologize for some audio there in the beginning. I know Ron was trying to provide some of the rules. We'll definitely keep you viewers, with that information throughout the season. Maybe we'll make a couple graphics so you can follow these new rules here in R&R. I'm sure some penalties, some fines going to happen after this race.
Yeah, I don't know how you saw that. I don't really like what I saw there. And I've asked both of those guys to give me their inputs after the race, or they might not be back, because I saw one driver turn right, one driver turn left.
Yeah, that's how I called it up here. I always don't get them right just watching, but you saw Logan York was not clear to go to the middle lane there. Daniel Arborheader had every right to have his position. Looked like York went to bully him, and when he did, Eberhardt took exception, as he should, but that's where it needs to kind of stop, because it's going to affect everyone else behind them. They kept dooring one another, and eventually, practically turned York there, and everyone else, trying to avoid it. They're going to the yellow, trying to avoid it, and unfortunately, a couple drivers, their race ended for that. So I saw it your way, but we'll get to that post-race. Right now, we are going to go back green for the second overtime. It's the 18 of Wyatt Gray. Stephen Miles to 24. We are in the Geico restart zone, and we are back green here for Tuesday Night Thunder.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I have asked them both for their. It's considered a warning right now for both of them, but we'll see where that goes based on what I see from inputs. But here we go. Green, white, checkered, number 2. Hopefully the last one.
Yes, sir. 2x2. Who's going to make the third lane? Brock Westmoreland.
There we go.
What a comeback for him. Can he make this work? Here he comes with Nick Sipple, Matthew Baker, Josh McCullough. The third has a surge, and they're going to the lead here in turn number 3.
They're flying, and like you said, wouldn't that be a great story? We're talking about the guys who, don't cash a lot. It'd be great to see Brock come from lap down. Oh, here we go, another wreck.
This is going to bring out a caution. Oh, my God, a big one here strikes at Talladega. Complete and utter carnage on the racetrack as the 03 was turned up into the track. That is going to take out a lot of this field. Being scored, Matthew Baker in first, but we'll see how this plays out. Wyatt Gray as well up there. Damage to Ethan Eckert, you see. But a massive wreck here. And it's all going to start there with the 03, and we'll get this backed up for you guys. This is going to be a massive wreck here. And here you go, 3x3. No lift pushing as the 62 on the 03. As the 18 goes up, that's just going to slide the rear end of the 03 off Veliky. And Veliky doesn't get out of the gas. 03 is going to try to come back up for his spot. And there it goes. There it blows Stephen Miles, Nick Sipple into the wall. Brock Westman, what a comeback he had. Look at the 24. Stephen Miles up and just about over. Oh, Jared Haynes involved. Josh McCullough. Wow, what a wreck here. All over the infield. John Ward, Kyler Wynn's diving down there. Devin Ray, more bad luck for him. Not sure here who's going to be the culprit of this one. We're going to slow this one down. Watch the 62 and the 03. The 18 is going to go up to block, as he was clear to do so. When he does, you know, they're just pushing the pusher. You could see the damage there to the 03, but Veliky didn't want to give this spot up, and he stays in it. And as he does, he's going to hook the 03 up into the racetrack. A wild ride here.
Yeah, I couldn't really put that on Landon. I think that was basically because of that damage Kenny had on his tailgate. Because it looked like it was a pretty square push, but I think that damage made it more like an offset push. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a close one. To have to, look at it over and over again to really get a good idea. But that's a tough one right there. The 18 went up the track. That got Kenny a little bit loose. Veliky's already no lifting with Kenny with that damage. It might have looked that Veliky possibly, once Kenny dipped down below the yellow, just didn't want to give him his spot. It's possible that when Kenny came back up, obviously, Veliky was full throttle at that point and, just obviously turned Kenny. So a tough break there for a lot of the field. But, a very tough call to make. We're going to go catch up here to the lead. And, wow, after all that, the 5 of Matthew Baker in the Coasting Thunder Chevrolet, somehow your race leader. And I believe Ron has gone to do some more race control. So Matthew Baker, a tumultuous night on the last lap, or the white flag lap of the stage, practically upside down on his driver's side on the backstretch, gets his damage fixed, comes to the front, goes to the back. It's just back and forth, but somehow he makes his way back to the front on the last green-white checkered. He's got Nick Sipple to his outside. He's got a great pusher behind him in the 88 of Daniel Falkingham. And he's got a teammate 2 behind him in Matthew Lee. So, man, this gets interesting. A lot of people split up as well. Nick Sipple's been, I'll tell you what, practically the class of this field tonight. He has done everything he could do with, practically no teammates that, like I said, Davenport out, Westmoreland out for most of this race, finally gets on lead lap, charges to the front, gets caught up again. I mean, this is going to be a heck of a race. And you got Logan York as well. He's going to be aggressive. He's checkers or wreckers. Josh McCullough. I mean, some of these guys got to have some damage too. I mean, do not leave. This is going to be a heck of a finish here tonight on the PGR eSports Network. This is race number 1 of season 6. And all these drivers going for that elusive race win.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. These guys were asking me about running it out. I do not run out on the last lap. If iRacing throws the caution, that flag ends the race. So, I don't run it out like some people do. It's just too hard to figure points and all that up. So the last flag, after they take the wide, ends the race. So here we are on the 3rd green-white checker.
So if the yellow lights do come on, that will freeze the field. Sorry, guys. It will go by iRacing. A little tongue twisted there. But it'll go by iRacing. Nick Sipple, Matthew Baker. The pace car lights are off. We're going to wind them back up, but this will be the last time no matter what here tonight. And will we have a surprise winner? Could it be Sipple? Can it be, Joe, somehow he's in the top 10.
Got a chance too, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
It's, or will it be the chalk? We got a lot of chalk up here in the 5 and the 88. Logan York, we'll see. So 3 laps to go. It's going to be 2 to go when we hit the line. Pace car is going to dive back down the yellow and on the pit lane for the last time tonight. Matthew Baker, Nick Sipple, Falkingham, York, McCullough, your top 5. Who's going to get it done as we get close to that Geico restart zone? The flag man with the green flag in hand, ready to wave it for the final time. We are green here at Talladega.
All right, let's see if we can make it around to the white flag at least, and then race it out. But yeah, Matt Lee, he came back from a little bit of adversity there, and he's back up there with a chance to get it. Don't count Brock out yet. I'm not sure what happened there, if he had to pit or not while I was reviewing that wreck, but don't count Brock Westmoreland out either.
Ooh, they're wrecking out back. It looks like Josh McCullough. Caution is out. Matthew Baker is going to get the race win here on Tuesday Night Thunder. Man, what a comeback for the ages for the number 5. Is it going to be
Baker or Sipple, though?
Ooh, I think it's going to be Baker. I got Nick Sipple.
I'm showing Sipple right now.
My scoring.
That is the race.
We will see. Our scorings may be a little different. We're going to wait for official word.
However, iRacing scores it. Right now I'm showing Nick as the winner, but let's see how iRacing scores it. Oh, sorry. I should have muted.
Yeah, the SDK live timing has Matthew Baker first, Daniel Falkingham second, Nick Sipple all the way in 9th. But we're going to let this play out. And we're going to make sure we get everything right and official. iRacing timing and scoring sometimes a little bit different than SDK. Provisional winner right now, Matthew Baker on our end here in the broadcast booth. iRacing, possibly Nick Sipple, not sure. Here's the pace car. We'll see where it places Nick Sipple. I believe he's going to be 3rd. From the time of the caution came out, looks like Baker for sure was out front in the lead. I can't see Baker not winning this one. Should be Daniel.
Yeah, I got a few things to review here.
Absolutely. We're going to wait for review. But Matthew Baker was the leader when the yellow flew. Looked like Falkingham was 2nd, Sipple 3rd. That is your provisional podium finishers right now. Don't go anywhere. We're waiting for final review from Ron Morris. We'll get the top 3 drivers into the booth. Sorry, we couldn't call it an exciting race to the finish there, but Matthew Baker will be excited if he is, in fact, the race winner. It looks like he is. He's celebrating. Some fist pumps from the 5. And we'll wait to call it, but it looks like Matthew Baker's your winner. And that Coasting Thunder Maroon is going to go to victory lane here at Talladega Superspeedway. He's going to go all the way around in that NBG Motorsport Chevrolet and burn them down for all the fans and all the viewers here tonight. And man, I wish we could go back and play the first ride of the night he went for at the end of that stage on his side, on his driver's side. And just multiple comebacks tonight. Baker's mom in the chat, probably happy with her son here. Landon Velke, nice little nudge there showing his respect to the race winner here tonight. It's Matthew Baker in the 5 for NBG Motorsports to victory lane. Daniel Falkingham and Nick Sipple. Great run for Nick Sipple. I'm sure a bummer he couldn't get to the line. We had a big breakaway, but like Ron said, if that yellow comes out, that will end the race, and sure enough, it did.
Yeah, Baker's going to be a leader. Falkenham's going to be second. Third is going to be third is where the only one's going to be different. It's going to be Matt Lee in third.
Wow, Matt.
And then the
Lee.
rest of Matt got spun by Malik after the caution came out. So Matt is going to be third.
Well, you heard it there. The official word, Matt Lee going to bump all the way up to third place. So that'll bump Sipple off the podium. And what a heck of a race for Sipple here tonight. But man, oh man, it was a great race. I wish we could have got to the checkered flag somehow, some way. But nonetheless, Matthew Baker, your race winner here tonight. As we bring up those results. It's Matthew Baker first here tonight in NBG Motorsport Chevrolet. Daniel Falkingham second. Third is actually Nick Sipple, I believe, is going to bump down to fourth. So not sure of the exact finishing lineup here, but we do know Matt Lee is going to actually be third. So we'll just say Nick Sipple's fourth, Malik Ray fifth, Logan York on down is going to be how it goes. Like I said, we don't have official standings here of how this race ended with the way the caution flew, but we do know Matt Lee is third. So you can go off this the most you want to. We'll just show it to you so you guys can kind of see where everyone finished. But that 17th place finisher, Matthew Lee, is actually going to be third here tonight. So that is your leaderboard. We're going to try to get all of these top three here into the booth. It'll be Matt Lee, Daniel Falkingham, and Matthew Baker. So while we have a minute, let's get the man into the booth. It is Matt Lee. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Matt Lee, I didn't even know I was going to be talking to you according to the scoring, but official word from Ron Morris Jr. is you return from your spot, and you're going to be given that third place and podium spot tonight. Man, tell us how you did it, because I'll tell you what, you had some issues. It looked like you were kind of coming to pit road during a green flag stop, and not sure if it was a team miscommunication, but we saw you dart back onto the track, and cost you a lot of track position there. Luckily, you got a caution to bunch things back up, but what a crazy night for you. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I made a mistake, miscommunication. I came a lap earlier, or I was gonna come a lap earlier than we were supposed to. And then next time by, when the wreck happened on pit road, like I was gonna pit there, but like pit entry was completely closed off. So I mean, I wasn't gonna try to force my way down through a pit road with cars everywhere. I honestly thought the caution was gonna come out, but it didn't. So I went around again, and then I was like just way back. Luckily caught on with Garrett and Mark Bondell, and the three of us worked together to just barely manage to stay on the lead lap. And, me and Garrett were talking and trying to get Mark, like, dude, you just got to push enough to keep us on the lead lap in case there's a wreck at the end of this. It's our only hope. So I basically played out that way, and then we ended up with the fuel to not really have to do anything too crazy to put ourselves in the spot on the second retry. The first one we knew a lot of guys were going to be able to make it, so on that first try, so I didn't even really try to get up into it too far. Just played out well.
Well, you did a great job, a great showing now here for Team NBG all of a sudden. Some crazy comebacks from the entire team here tonight to get the job done. But, one thing we don't really ask too many of our interviewers every week is, we talk a lot about the racing, but we don't talk a lot about stuff off the track. But I'll tell you what, man, you went on a snowmobiling trip recently, showed us some cool videos, had some mountain lion or something crazy. Tell us about that trip and what you saw, because it looked like a really good time.
Yeah, up in the northern Maine Canadian border. Come across like a couple links. It was pretty cool. They had a den nearby, I think, where they're coming into their mating season and stuff. It's just something cool. Moose, deer, a lot of coyotes recently. It's just I love snowmobiling, man. Snowmobiling's fun. It's kind of my getaway, and only get so much of it now, and try to enjoy it when I can. Family thing, me and my parents. My daughter loves to ride with us. Family friends that are close, just tight circle.
Well, we love to hear that, Matt. And before we let you go and celebrate here tonight, anyone you want to thank and or shout out?
Yeah, Baker, Daniel, Mert, just the guys ran a good race there. It's kind of hectic, but managed to work our way back up there. You guys for doing the broadcast. Ron for putting up with the shenanigans. Like, man, I can't imagine.
And trying to be up here too. But nah,
Yes,
good
right,
run,
brother.
man. Good run, man. Hey, good comeback from
Yeah,
I thought you were out of it.
me too, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate what you always do. Icon Apparel. Big shout out to them guys. Scott over there for everything he does. Yeah.
Well, you heard it there. That was your third place finisher tonight. Matt Lee. It's not going to be right on the board, but it's going to be right in the official standings. That's Matt Lee, your third place finisher. And Ron Morris Jr. joined me up here tonight. He's going to get his first shot at an interview as we bring Daniel Falkingham, your runner-up in the race tonight. Daniel Falkingham, you got a copy.
Hey, I got you.
Hey, Daniel, how's it going, man? What you think about the race tonight?
Yeah, definitely was it was a wild one out there with like all the different pitch strategies, all the racing. It was good. It was scary, especially at the end of the race when we had to give up all our track position for fuel because we can't keep it straight for more than 2 laps, I guess, at the end of the race there. So that was unfortunate, but thankfully we had some luck fall away. We missed that big wreck coming out of turn 4, picked off like 10 spots, and then we missed the rest of the claim. And at the end, we got home a P2, and I feel like that's where we deserve to finish, up there at the front, because we were up there controlling a lot of that race. So feels good to finish up there. A little more wild and a little more. Too exciting for me than I would have liked, especially at those GWCs. But we'll take them, take the points, and move on.
Yeah, hey, good run, man. Yeah, you pretty much stayed up front the whole night, but yeah, you caught yourself back there a little bit. I mean, it was a fairly clean race going up to the end. It had a little bit of net code. There was one little incident I wasn't real happy with, but good run, man. I'm not sure how I usually try to keep up with you guys in the Coke Series, but I hadn't had a chance tonight because I had a dinner I had to go to. But how'd you run on Coke Series tonight?
We ended up P6 tonight at Las Vegas. We qualified up front, and we pretty much stayed up there the whole night. Definitely, I feel like I choked my Q lap pretty good. That I think would have put us on the pole. But other than that, like we ran top 10 the whole race, and we never fell further than like 7th or something like that. So we had a good clean run after coming off of Daytona, where we were in the lead on the final lap and finished 14th after we got hosed pretty badly. But yeah, first 2 races, it's been a good start to the season. I'm looking forward to getting to Interlagos next week, where we get some road racing. So far, it's definitely my best start to the season I've had in my 3 years of doing this. So hopefully we can keep that momentum rolling, just like over here.
Hey, good deal, man. Yeah, I pull for all you guys that run over here. Glad to have you, man. Congratulations on the PGR 500 win, and glad to have you over here. So, you want to thank your sponsors and everything before you get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for putting this stuff on. No races like this can get hairy, but so appreciate you doing all you do. Appreciate everyone who comes on races. Shout out to the admins. You guys for broadcasting, and shout out to my Coke team, Six Karma. And shout out to Baker on the win. Was working with them there a lot throughout that entire race. And also shout out to Matt Lee for getting 3rd as well. So overall, good night. And thank you, everybody.
Hey, good deal, man. Hey, we'll see you next time.
Appreciate it, Ron. Thanks.
Yep.
That was your runner-up finisher here tonight, the 2025 PGR 500 champion, Daniel Falkingham, Coke Series driver. Glad to see him have a good night in the Coke Series as well here in RMR Tuesday Night Thunder. But I'll tell you what, we're going to bring the next guy back into the booth. It's the 5. He's one of the most winning drivers here in RMR. It's Matthew Baker. You got a copy.
What's up, man?
Man, you tell us what's up, because at the end of the stage at lap 20, you were on your driver's side going down the backstretch, but somehow, some way, you were able to keep that thing in one piece, get it to pit road, fix any damage you had, get back out there, and make run after run to the front. Every time something bad happened, you recovered and somehow got this thing to victory lane. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I think coming there to the stage, Falkingham just gave me a shot. Pushed me down into Malik, and then I tried to line back up with Ethan, and it was, I don't know. It just looked like a little bit of net code mixed with I was a tad offset. So unfortunate there coming to the stage. I told myself in the beginning of the race that I'm not going to run a lot of these with myself going on deployment here in a few weeks. So just trying to keep the truck under in one piece and get to the finish of the race, because that's where the payouts happen, and help push teammates to the front. But I positioned myself yet again to try and get a stage win, and it didn't happen. But yeah, just through that last run, I mean, those last 10 laps coming to I want to say it was like 50 to 55 with some really, really good racing at 4 wide racing. People meeting in the middle with Wyatt and Dylan, and then Dylan had some connection issues. They had to go 4 wide around him, drop to the back, lose all their track position yet again. And then send it on the high side with PGR, with Sipple and Westmoreland, and it looked like it was going to work out until whatever happened on the bottom happened, and the Golden Horseshoe found me once again. It's I don't know what it is, but it's something about these RMR races that I'm able to find my luck through the series and come away with the win. This is 5 seasons in a row for Ron that I've won the first race of the year. So I think the first one is always the luckiest one for me for sure.
Well, yeah, it's unfortunate. Obviously, you're not going to be able to partake in the season-long standings, because we know you'd be one of the top contenders for the championship. It's a really good field here, but obviously you're going to go for race wins. You're going to be as aggressive as you can be until you go on that deployment. Is that kind of your mentality now, is to get these wins? And, it looked like Matt Lee somehow finished third here tonight. Merck was leading a lot of laps. Just a strong showing from the team in general. So hopefully you guys can, continue that. Is that kind of where your head's at?
Yeah, it was great. It's nice to have Merck back up there. He had struggles there through the last couple of months, and it was good to have a good run from him, Lee as well, and Falkingham and Garrett for the beginning of the race. Great job working with them, Harper as well. So overall, it was a good team effort and a good alliance effort. I think that we all come together. We run together, and we understand the moves that are happening on the track. We may talk a lot, but we understand the moves that each one of us is going to make, especially, Matt and I when it comes down to it, or Garrett and I when it comes down to it. But Falkingham did a great job pushing me on the bottom. I told him I was just going to stay committed, and I knew Sipple had too much damage on that right front for me to even think about going up there until, Malik maybe got clear. So the luck just swung our way this week, and I'm happy for it, because man, the trucks, they put on some shows, but I can't stand running the trucks right now. It's all gas, no brake. You don't feel like you're in control, and it looks cool on the broadcast, but as a driver, it is terrifying.
Well, Ron Morris is here. Before we let you go, we'll let him have one word with you as the boss man himself, and then we'll get you going on your way. But congrats here on the big victory tonight, the 5 back in victory lane.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, Baker, man, we're gonna miss you. I hate that you ain't gonna be able to run the whole season, but rack these wins up while you can, man, and look at your schedule and see if you're gonna be able to be back around for the championship, because you can still get in. So just look at that. But we're gonna miss you, man. So shout out to your sponsors, and appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, Ron, I'm always going to support this league, and not just because I won a lot of races, because that is probably the main reason I come back, but you put together a great league, and I always have fun running it, and it helps winning a lot of these races. And last season, I know we took a pretty big hiatus, so not many people remember last season, but it was a little bit of a struggle compared to the season before. So to start it off on the right foot, even though I may not be running the full season, is great, and trying to keep the wins in there, keep my points battle alive somewhat. I know I may have a shot, but it'll be early mornings for me on deployment on Wednesday mornings, trying to make Tuesday nights either place I go. So we'll be trying. So just thanks to Coasting Thunder, MBG Motorsports, Baker & Son Construction. I'm going to have to change up the paint scheme. I really like this paint scheme, but we got to put the SummerSlam 499 logo on the back there to get us prepared for the SummerSlam 499. Information will be coming out on that soon. Mike and I will be putting some stuff out on that later. Thanks to Mom and Grandma for always watching the races, and my wife for letting me drive virtual circles, you putting on the league, and Mike for putting on the broadcast. Excited to go watch myself get flipped and come back and win it.
Yeah, man, good job.
Thanks, brother.
That was your race winner, Matthew Baker. An excellent drive for him here tonight. Somehow, some way, he gets it done again here in Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder. He just seems to have a knack to get into victory lane every time that green flag drops. Good to see the 5 coasting Thunder Chevrolet back in victory lane. Ron Morris, any final thoughts here tonight before we head off and look into next week here for race number 2?
Yeah, man, it's nice to be back after taking a little bit of a break. I needed a break, but I like what I saw for the most part, and a few things that I'm not happy about, but we'll get those ironed out, and we'll be back next week in the Xfinity cars at Daytona. So let's see how that goes. But next week, same time, 10 qualifying. So right back at it next week at Daytona in the Xfinity cars, and then the following week will be Daytona in the Cup cars. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to the season and seeing some really good racing and being up here in the booth. This, my first time ever. It was a lot of fun. I figured if I'm going to mess anybody's race up, I'm going to let it be my own. So hopefully I did okay. I'll get better as we go through these. So, but I really enjoyed it, man. Appreciate you letting me be up here and learn a little bit, and look forward to it next week.
Hey, man, I'm always learning myself up here. I always tell everyone, hey, I'm just the low man on the totem pole. I fill in when I can, but, I love to be, this is a big series. It's a prime time race throughout the week, so it's just an honor to be able to be the lead broadcaster for this. I know Austin's one of the best broadcasters around, him and Dawson Wise, and Austin's doing something else for PGR eSports on Tuesday nights now, and kind of let me have this thing, so I appreciate him. Thank you to him. We'll keep getting better. Ron and I will try to be more cohesive. I thought we were really good tonight, so especially having Austin there in the beginning, having to do 3-way, so we'll keep at it. We'll try to bring some more graphics weekly as well. Try to keep everyone up with all the rules. I know we had a little audio issue in the beginning, but we'll try our best up here in the booth. So yeah, for PGR eSports, I am Michael Triscaro, my co-host. Early on in the going, Austin Green, then Ron Morris Jr. as well. Matthew Baker going to victory lane here tonight. Falkingham second, rounding out your podium, Matthew Lee. We'll head next week to race number 2. We'll see you at the same time, 10:10 for qualifying and 10:15 p.m. Eastern for the race. Signing off here on PGR eSports. Y'all have a good night.